Hello everyone, I'm NiniFC and this is CWANless TV, and today I'm bringing you guys another predicted preview video for our upcoming game against Hull City tomorrow evening. Just one quick thing before I get into the video, please, if you haven't pressed the bell notification button, please press that and stay tuned to all things CWANless TV. And one more thing, smash that like button, help me get 500 likes for this video. But starting with injury news, Bakayoko is going to be out for this game. David Luiz will be out for this game as well, and we all know that Ross Barkley is currently out with an injury at this moment in time. So this is quite interesting in terms of what the lineup's going to look like, because again, we are playing Barcelona on Tuesday, we do have Hull City, Conte will be looking to rotate the team, so it's going to be very interesting to see what type of lineup is going to be used. Maybe a lot of young players could be finally getting a chance to start from games, so that could be pretty interesting. But anyway, getting straight into the video, starting with my predicted 11. In goal, it's going to be Caballero, and Caballero has been a good and decent understudy. There have been moments in games where he does tend to struggle a bit in the opening periods, and I think that's just him getting accustomed to playing again, because most times he isn't playing as much, but he does end games very strong. Moving on to the back three, and I see Conte using a 3-4-3 system. Now, in defence, it is going to be pretty interesting, and I'm going to go on a hunch here. But I think the one surprise selection we will be seeing in the middle of the defence will be Trevoh Chalobah. Now, Conte has stated that he is training with the first team. He has been really impressive for the youth team as well, especially in the Checkatrade Trophy. So I think that Conte will finally give him a start there, because there's no way he's going to risk Christensen, especially when we have Barcelona and with David Luiz still sustaining injuries at this moment in time. So Trevoh could be getting a chance tomorrow. On the right hand side of the back three, I see Rudiger playing, and on the left hand side I see Gary Cahill playing in the team. Now for the right wing back position, I do see Zappacosta continuing to play in the team, and on the left hand side, Emerson will be finally making his debut for the team. I've been very excited to see him. I think his attributes are really going to be pretty important for the team in terms of what he provides, his ability to get past someone, his ability to take people on, his ability to dominate a flank by himself. That's what we really miss in the final third, as Alonso is someone that really needs that support around him to really push on. He doesn't really have that technical ability to beat men himself and obviously cause havoc down that left hand side. And I think with Palmieri, the club have done some pretty astute business for his signature. Now in midfield, I see Drinkwater and Ampadu playing together. We did see them play together against Everton. I think Ampadu has been decent in midfield whenever he plays, because he has that tenacity of the tackle. His positioning is very good as well. He's never out of position. Plus he likes to press opposition if they get close. And I think really, I've seen him do a better job at that compared to Bakayoko so far this season. And I think with Drinkwater, he's going to be playing because he won't play any part against Barcelona. Now for the front three. Up front, I see Olivier Giroud continuing in the team, and I see Willian and Pedro starting in this game as well. I don't see us using a 3-4-3 against Barcelona at home. I think we will be reverting to a 3-5-2 system, and I think that Pedro and Willian will be playing in this game, and I think we'll probably see some youth getting a chance tomorrow as well. I think that Hudson-Odoi will be coming on to probably replace Pedro later on during this game. To be honest, I'd love to see him start, but it's not going to happen. And I see us maybe Carl Scott could finally be getting a substitute appearance. I mean, he's been on the bench for so long this season without playing, and he's been fairly decent too for the youth teams as well, so that would be nice to see him having a chance. Now that's the predicted 11 I see Conte using for the game against Hull City tomorrow evening. Now here's my lineup. In goal, I have gone for Caballero, but in defence I've gone for something a bit different. I've gone for Azpilicueta on the right hand side, Trevoh Chalobah in the middle, and Rudiger on the left hand side. And my thinking is that relationship that Rudiger and Palmieri had whilst they were at Roma, I would like to see them playing together. I think Rudiger playing behind Emerson, of course, they both speak Italian, that could really help him acclimatise to the team. And it would be nice to see that type of relationship and combination down the left hand side, because maybe, hopefully, in the future, if Conte was to see this and see how well they gel together, maybe he might decide to finally stop using Gary Cahill on the left hand side. In midfield, I've gone for Drinkwater as well, and he's been decent whenever he's played. I don't think he's really played any bad games. I think he's a decent squad player in my opinion. I've gone for Ampadu in midfield with him. I don't see Ampadu being used in defence. And for the attack, I've gone for Callum Hudson-Odoi on the left hand side because I'm sorry, whenever this guy's come on, he's done bits every single time. Let him finally debut, let him start, let him really show what he can do. Not these token minutes in the last 20-50 minutes where Callum Hudson-Odoi is really only playing just to let the manager know that, you know, you can trust me. That's really the mentality. He's not really being as expressive as he can. Let Conte give Callum that confidence to start from the game and really express himself from the start and let him finish the game. You know, we're playing against Hull City here. I think he's good enough to do that. Up front, I have gone for Olivier Giroud, and on the right hand side, I have gone for Pedro. But anyway, you guys, that's going to bring an end to the first part of this video. Moving on to the match preview. Now I'm going to start the match preview segment for today's video, starting with Hull City. And Hull City have a bit of a selection crisis at this moment in time. Of course, we have loaned to them Michael Hector, Tamori and Aina, but they can't play against us tomorrow. And all three of those guys are key components of Hull City's defence. Hull City are 21st in the Championship, and they have replaced their previous manager Silitsky. He obviously has ties with Roman Abramovich, they're good friends, and Nigel Adkins has taken over. Now, since Adkins has taken over, in the past 12 games, Hull City have only conceded 11 goals, so really, defensively they're pretty sound and solid. But when it comes to scoring goals, they're not scoring anything. Most games are either drawing or they're losing by the odds goal. Hull City looked to use a 4-4-2 at times, which Adkins was experimenting with because he was trying to get a goal threat back into the team, and he thought by having two focal points up front, it could improve the team's chances offensively. Their traditional formation is using a 4-2-3-1, and I think that's the formation that Hull City are going to use against us because they do want to have those midfield numbers. Because off the ball, Hull City do use a 4-5-1. So immediately you're going to understand what type of approach to the game they're going to be having tomorrow evening. And that's going to be all about obviously defensive positioning, being very deep and compact, flooding the midfields, keeping it very narrow and compact in there as well, as they're going to try to close the spaces between the lines between midfield and defence, where our front three really operate the best in. But as I was saying, Hull City really emphasise defending over attacking, and I think that's going to be to their detriment, of course. Really, the Championship is their priority. They're 21st. They are in the relegation zone. It's not looking too optimistic right there. So I can't imagine they're going to take tomorrow's game very seriously because they've got bigger priorities. They spent a lot of money this summer. They just got relegated from the Premier League to the Championship. It would be criminal if Hull City were to get relegated to League One. Not when they have the stadium and all the wages they're paying to players. That would be a complete disaster. Now, if I'm Antonio Conte, I'm thinking we've got Barcelona coming up next Tuesday. This is the perfect game to give a lot of our young players a chance in this game. I'm hoping I see Callum Hudson-Odoi starting in this game today. I really feel every time he's made those brief cameos, he's been exceptional. Give him a full start. Let him really show you what he can do. It's the perfect game against a Hull City team that are going to have a very weakened defence. Plus, I'd like to see the relationship between Emerson and Callum Hudson-Odoi, because with Callum Hudson-Odoi, he is someone that collects the ball out wide and cuts inside, and with Emerson, he's one of those very traditional Latin fullbacks where he will bomb forward, he can beat a man easily. And I'd like to see that combination of obviously Callum freeing up space on the flanks for Emerson, who can then utilise that and create havoc in the final third. And me personally, that's the type of football I like to see. I mean, for example, last night's game between Paris Saint-Germain and Real Madrid, Marcelo was doing that to great effect, and that was when Asensio came in and he was moving into the half spaces, freeing up space for Marcelo to do his thing. I think there's a reason why big teams always use that style, because it's the most effective one at breaking teams down. Giroud came out earlier stating that he feels that the way Chelsea play really suited his strengths, and I've been telling you guys this all the time. I remember when he had his best season alongside Aaron Ramsey, it was no surprise because in a way they were like a B-Tech Drogba and Lampard in terms of obviously Ramsey was playing close to Giroud and he had that link-up play, and that's the type of striker Giroud is. And this is why he's a decent signing for the system, even though I think personally he's a guy in decline. And that's because obviously with the way we play with our front three, they do play pretty close to the striker, where they're able to do a lot of one-touch layoffs. And there's no surprise why Giroud is pretty optimistic and positive with what's happening. I think that Hull City won't be able to handle us. I'm expecting us to have a lot of joy down the flanks, as Hull City will be giving up a lot of easy possession. I'm just hoping that Conte is going to allow youth to play. I did say that I think Trevor Chalobah will be playing in this game. It would be nice to see because this guy is an exceptional passer. I think he can easily play in the middle of a back three, and I would love to see him play in that role. And another win's needed. Obviously, we need that confidence for the game against Barcelona. It's going to be good to see Ampadu getting minutes as well. He's really someone that's been developing a lot more since he's joined the club, and he's improving technically as a player. But anyway, you guys, I'm going to give my match prediction. I think we're going to beat Hull City 4-0 tomorrow. I think they're definitely going to be goals scored tomorrow night. I think Giroud's going to get his first goal for the club. I'm just hoping that Conte isn't going to be too pragmatic and using the likes of a Pedro, where his form's been awful this year, only 2 goals and 2 assists. Play Callum Hudson-Odoi from the start so he can really show you what he can do. Anyway, you guys, thank you for watching today's predicted preview video. I'm the EFC. This is CWANless TV. Signing out.